ladies, gentlemen, if you would, please silence your phones. No flash photography. We like our actors seen. And if you have to use the bathroom, out that door and down the hall. Beowulf is the oldest written piece of literature in the English language, and we are excited to put it on stage for you.
I heard yes, that's that good. Any luck? All the costume shops are closed, so I drove home and rummaged to my house.
Your house?
Yeah, my kids helped me.
What's that?
Beowulf's helmet.
Are you trying to tell me you propose we use junk from your house as our props and costumes? Shh. Excuse us. Just one additional moment, please. I don't want a classic like Beowulf with junk from your house.
Do you have a better idea?
What about our props and costumes that were stolen? Have you heard anything from the police?
I just got off the phone with the captain. They said they'll be on the case first thing next week.
Next week? We have a full house right now.
That's what I told them. They said they're too busy to worry about props and costumes stolen from a small-time theater.
What? Small-time theater?
Small time? These people are expecting a top-notch performance of an epic classic.
Well, it's your call. Do you want me to distribute the stuff to the actors or not?
No, I don't know.
Excuse me, but is there a problem?
Yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Well, there seems to have been a little trouble due to a break-in.
I hope you're not about to tell us that there isn't going to be a performance.
Yeah, I worked overtime for 2 weeks to pay for my tickets.
Well, you see,
I had to pawn my wedding ring to purchase our ticket.
You told me you lost it.
We'll discuss it later. Please, just get the play started.
well, since you put it that way, don't just stand there, take this junk backstage to the cast.
Okay, but just so you know, one man's junk is another man's treasure, and this junk is worth a lot.
Well, it seems you're ready to begin.
Hey, what's this? And why is it coming to me?
It's your helmet?
What?
The guy who's supposed to play Beowulf is sick.
I can't wear this.
Just do it. Well, it's time to start. I'm taking my place and beginning the story. Hear me? I'm taking my place and beginning the story now.
Everything's set.
Years and years ago, actually more than 1,000 years ago, there was a kingdom ruled by the righteous King Haika, king of the Geats. He was a mighty king who ruled justly. One day, a royal bard began to tell him of a terrible occurrence that was happening across the waters in the land of the Danes.
What is this you say, Royal Bard?
Bard, where's your costume? The bard had just risen from a restful night's sleep and had not yet time to dress. So the royal bard went on to tell the king and placed a firm hand on his royal robe. And with fear and trembling in his voice, he said,
The worst kind of terrible monster has occurred once again in the land of the Danes, Your Majesty.
The king ripped his royal crown from his head and threw it to the ground in anger.
Has anyone tried to kill this horrible beast?
The young bard took a letter from his vest pocket.
This is a letter from King Hrothgar, Your Majesty. He says many more of his men have been murdered by this evil creature.
What is this monster like?
The bard told of how ugly and grotesque this monster was. He told how it rose from the bowels of the earth and made its way through the great dark woods to King Hrothgar's hall. He told how the monster waited patiently until all were asleep and then attacked with all its might, slashing them with its sword-like claws and biting them with its razor-sharp teeth.
Okay, I get the picture.
Sorry, Your Majesty, but this monster is too evil to be defeated.
The bard went on to explain how everyone in the land of the Danes lived in constant fear. The king placed his crown back onto his head and thought aloud.
Who could possibly kill this evil and dangerous kingdom?
Just as he turned, he saw his nephew, Beowulf, enter, covered in his mail made of armor.
I can defeat this creature on high black with my own 2 hands. I'll rip it apart.
Beowulfina explained that she had heard of this terrible creature and that the monster's name was Grendel. She went on to tell how she had heard of how hideously ugly the creature was and how she, the great Beowulfina, would single-handedly bring it down and kill it for good.
You're the bravest woman I've ever known, my niece.
Hygelac took his niece by the shoulders, looked her straight in the eye, and said to her,
May God bless you and keep you safe.
Beowulfina bowed, and before she turned to leave, said a last goodbye to her uncle.
Goodbye, my uncle.
So, Beowulfina and a small group of her best soldiers jumped into a boat and headed across the water to the land of the Danes. So Beowulf jumped into a boat.
Sorry, we're waiting for the glue job. Get in.
Beowulfina headed across the waters, clad in her mail armor, to the land of the Danes. Once Beowulfina reached the destination, she was greeted by the captain of the king's coast guard.
Halt!
Said the captain,
Who dare land upon King Hrothgar's beach without prior consent?
I've come to kill the monster, Grendel.
the captain of the coast guard dropped to his knees and begged Beowulfina to return to her home where she would be safe from Grendel's attacks.
Please just go home where you'll be safe.
Beowulfina would not listen to the captain, but she continued to plead and beg.
Please, I beg you. We don't want another hand dead at the hands of this demon.
Finally, Beowulfina raised her hand and spoke forcefully.
Stop. I appreciate your concern, but this is something I must do.
So Beowulfina helped the captain to his feet, and thanked him for allowing him to land upon the royal coast. Beowulfina then summoned his soldiers who had traveled with her.
Soldiers, I summon you.
The first soldier approached, also clad in mail armor.
I'm here, Sir Beowulfina.
I'm here, Sir Beowulfina. I'm here, Sir Beowulfina.
We shall go forth and speak with the king.
With that, the soldiers followed their leader to the great hall.
You are either the bravest woman I have ever met or the most foolish.
But the captain knew it was no use trying to dissuade Beowulfina, so he decided to go for a nice swim in the ocean instead.
Last words of Brian Tremblay!
So Beowulfina and his men made their way to the great hall where King Hrothgar reigned. They reached their destination and were presented to his majesty, who entered wearing a royal robe and followed by his page.
Oh, your Grace Majesty, great
King Hrothgar, King of the Danes. Thank you, my faithful page. Tell these strangers from across the waters that they may stand. You and your soldiers may stand, stranger from across the water.
The king asked if Beowulf had come to kill the monster.
Beowulfina, have you come to kill the beast, Grendel?
I have, your highness.
But where is your weapon?
Beowulfina explained that she did not need a weapon. She planned to destroy the terrible beast with her own 2 hands. The king's royal page laughed and laughed at such a silly notion.
Silence! We should not laugh at our guest. She is here for an important mission.
The king was not laughing on the inside or the outside. He was very concerned about Beowulfina. He explained that the beast called Grendel was more evil than anyone could imagine. He told of how it had come many times before and killed men in his kingdom. At that moment, Hrothgar's wife, Queen Welkiau, entered, adorned in a beautiful regal robe and followed by her servant who carried the train of her cape. Wait a minute, this is getting a little ridiculous.
Just keep going.
You are a fool to fight without a weapon. I do not need a weapon, but I cannot fight without your blessing.
You are sure?
I am. Go on, then. You have our blessing.
Beowulfina left their presence immediately so that she and her men might begin their mission. Word spread quickly throughout the kingdom of Beowulf's plan to ultimately defeat Grendel.
You're here to defeat the ugly beast.
News travels fast. Good people of Hrothgar's kingdom, you have nothing to fear, for I will kill the monster, Grendel. Everyone just go home and don't worry about a thing. I will rip the monster's arm off as proof that it is dead.
Beowulfina stood tall and brave in her suit of mail armor. The citizens presented expensive gifts to their new hero.
Right, Beowulf. I present to you these shoes, covered in nails to shod your feet.
Beowulf thanks you.
I present to you this curtain veil. Thank you.
Beowulf thanks you.
I present you this vest made of blood to protect your strong giving heart.
Beowulf thanks. I can't wear this.
Beowulf was indeed thankful for which all the gifts in which she was provided.
Beowulf thanks you.
Beowulf's faithful warriors helped Beowulf with her new attire.
I will help you shod your feet, Sir Beowulf.
Beowulfina in her new attire, our hero stood looking like no other warrior before her. The time of battle quickly approached. Beowulfina hid in the great hall that night, waiting for the evil monster to sneak in for another attack. Suddenly, Beowulfina heard a noise just outside the hall wall.
I can't hear anything with this bucket on my head.
Suddenly, Beowulfina heard a noise just outside the hall wall.
I hear a noise just outside the hall wall.
It was indeed Grendel, the most shredded beast in all the world. Ugly isn't a word that begins to describe Grendel. Hideous is not an expression that begins to explain his repulsive appearance. He had eyes of terror and a mighty tail that lashed through the night air. His hairy claws were raised high above his ugly head, ready to strike down anyone who stood in his way.
I'm ready to strike you down with my mighty claws.
Suddenly, one of the Dane's warriors, wanting glory for himself, ran in to offer his help.
Could I be of assistance, Sir Beowulfina?
My thanks to you. I held this beam by myself.
Good. Beowulfina and Grendel circled one another, looking the other dead in the eyes.
I will kill you, you horrible beast. I'm over here.
Grendel let out a terrible howl. Ow! As Grendel grew closer to Beowulf, he ripped his claws across Beowulfina's face. Beowulf exclaimed to the creature,
You will pay for that.
a terrible fight ensued, a battle between good and evil. Then Grendel bellowed to our hero,
Say goodbye to the world that you know, for you have found yourself face to face with Grendel.
That's when Grendel turned and faced his enemy. Oh, never mind. The fight finally ended when Beowulf ripped the monster's arm off.
Where's the arm?
Oh, I forgot. Here.
Grendel screamed in agony. At that moment, the arrogant Danish warrior by the name of Unbert returned.
May I be of assistance, Sir Beowulf? Sometimes the monster's that way.
The monster's screams were heard throughout the kingdom. The townspeople were terrified of the ugly beast. Ahead, terrified, Grendel ran into the village yelling,
My arm! Beowulf, you will pay for this wrong you have committed against me.
The townspeople hid behind Beowulf in terror as the monster ran away in pain. Even though he did not slay the beast, it seems Beowulf had indeed done away with the infamous Grendel. Proudly, Beowulf summoned the king and queen.
Yo, king and queen.
Beowulfina, have you ripped the arm from the beast?
I have, Your Highness, and here it is.
The king and queen praised their hero and decided to throw a mighty banquet in Beowulf's honor. The king shouted,
Bring forth the food and drink so that we may toast to Beowulfina, our guest of honor.
Only the best for our hero.
The king settled his people down, raised his silver cup, and spoke regally.
My kingdom is safe once again, thanks to Beowulfina.
And everyone cried in unison,
Hail Beowulfina!
Hail me!
Hail Beowulfina!
Hail me! So, the kingdom of Hrothgar, king of the Danes, was safe once again.
For she is
Where's
a
the
golden hero! For she is a golden hero! For she is a golden hero! And only the end
Grendel cried out to his own life-giver who lived in an underwater cave.
Mother, I am dying.
Grendel died. Grendel's mother knelt next to her dead son's lifeless body and cried out,
Grendel, my son, who has done this to you? Speak his name.
but it was too late. Grendel was gone, and his mother would never know who killed her son.
Beowulfina did it.
Grendel's mother raised her voice to the sky and cried out in agony,
I can't see a blasted thing through this box.
You will seek vengeance. mother swam to the top of her watery home and made her way to Hrothgar's kingdom. The next day, a theft was reported.
Your Majesty, the arm has been stolen.
Grendel's arm?
Yes, sire, it was hanging above the door and now it's gone.
Who would steal it from the rafters of the great hall?
Suddenly, Queen Wealthy rushed in with an idea.
I think I know what happened to the trophy arm.
She told of how, when she was but a little girl, she had heard stories of another hard-faced fiend who was seen slithering about the kingdom, Grendel's mother. She explained how Grendel's mother was even more evil than her wretched son. Beowulf knew that this must be the thief they were looking for.
Beowulf's mother has come to avenge her son's death.
When will we ever be free of these evil monsters?
Beowulf stuck out her mighty chest and told the king,
Do not worry, for I will kill the monster's mother as well.
I was hoping you would say that. May God be with you.
May God be with you. Since I'll be fighting on her territory, I will need my trusty weapon.
So Beowulf summoned a soldier to bring her sword.
Soldiers, bring me my weapon.
Here it is.
You may also have one of the kingdom's fastest steeds on which to ride.
Beowulf thanked the townsperson, the king, mounted the stallion, and started off on her dangerous mission. Away rode Beowulf. He didn't stop until she reached the watery fen. As she dismounted, the horse was so frightened of the horrid place that it took off through the woods. She swam down to the underwater cave where Grendel's mother immediately sensed a human being was present.
I'm ready to kill you, Beowulf. You killed my son. You were a fool for coming here.
Beowulf didn't flinch. She looked at her bravely and said,
You must be destroyed just as your son Grendel was, but do not worry, I'll make it quick. Take that, and that, and that too. Boy, fighting underwater is harder than it looks.
To make matters worse, the monster had her own hidden weapon. Finally, Beowulf stabbed Grendel's mother. She was dead, absolutely. Her cold, lifeless body stiffened immediately. In the next room, Beowulf found Grendel's dead body and used the same sword to cut off the monster's head. With that, Beowulf swam back to the outside world. Yes, Beowulf had heroically killed the second monster. The word spread like wildfire. King Hrothgar was greeted with the news right away.
What's the word? Is Beowulfina alive?
Yes, Your Majesty, she's on her way back, riding upon her royal steed.
There she comes now.
The king and queen and all the people of the kingdom shouted in triumph,
Hail Beowulfina!
Hail me!
Hail Beowulfina!
Hail me! Beowulf, you have done it once again, said King Hrothgar.
Beowulfina, you have done it once again.
How can we ever accept the faith? Hang Grendel's head in the hall wall so everyone know that from this day forward they will be safe.
It shall be done.
King Hrothgar made a grand speech. He told Beowulfina never to forget her journey to the land of the Danes and how he must have learned from her adventures.
Beware and forever mindful of the frailty of life, for it is only given to us for a short while. Remember these things.
I will remember.
And with those wise words, King Hrothgar presented Beowulfina with fine gifts and gold. Beowulfina took her riches and traveled back to her home. Everyone sadly said their goodbyes. Goodbye!
Do not worry, all. Now that Beowulfina is gone, I am here to protect you.
mighty kingdom. Hail Beowulf,